parts of a short story called Fear. Honks. No one's ever scared me like honks. For many years, I was terrified of them. Panicked. My feet were cold and my hands transpired every time I thought of home. Ever since I was a little girl, I have known my biggest dream was to travel the world. It seemed bigger than me, stronger than me. An urge from somewhere deep within that gained strength and filled my days and nights with longing. Longing for places and adventures I cannot even imagine the size of. I was a nightmare for my parents every time we left home. I was a very curious child, and I was never afraid when I met unfamiliar people, or if I occasionally did not know exactly where I was. My parents, on the other hand, were quite scared every time I disappeared into crowds. When my mom tried clothes on in a dressing room, I would creep off along the floor, going from cabin to cabin, chatting with the surprised men and women, getting changed in what they thought would be a private space. At supermarkets, I would disappear. I walked the streets alone in Paris at the age of 5. Every summer we spent on camping sites all over Northern Europe. And my parents would sacrifice at least one night per week looking for a pair of small, red, lacy shoes. Finally, they would find them outside a camping car, and inside they would find their daughter having dinner with a pair of complete strangers. At the age of 6, I built a kiosk. A small pink and blue square I barely fit in, which I would place on the street corner next to my house and force the neighbors into buying old dirty aluminum cans, small plastic bags of popcorn, and homemade drawings. The money I earned, I hid and saved. I had a horse-shaped money box in a drawer. All the money I earned at my kiosk, and later on outside of my kiosk, I would change into gold 10 kronor coins that I hid in my horse-shaped money box. This money was not to be touched until the day I finished mandatory school. Graduation day, liberty, freedom, the world. And I held the promise I made myself. I graduated with excellent grades, and everyone thought I was going straight to university after upper secondary school, straight to a prestigious program to later on become someone important. Instead, I held the promise I'd made myself when I built my pink and blue kiosk. I left Sweden. Where did I want to go? It did not matter. I was driven by an insatiable hunger to move, to see, to feel, to smell. I was starving. It was never enough. And every place I went seemed to become me. I would grow part of every culture I saw. I, who had never felt at home in Sweden, could wake up in the middle of the night on one of the Fijian islands and be filled with a great peace, a sensation of belonging, a sensation of having come home. The farther I went, the more at home I felt. When I woke up this morning, it was raining. God is crying today, I thought. And all I wanted to do was cry too, to cry with God and the world. We'd spent another night without sleep. The stress and the pressure is killing me. Only now, in the early morning hours, we'd fallen asleep. I'm so shaky these days, I get panic attacks. I panic and I break down, like a computer or something that just ceases to work. I feel so much pressure from the weight of my dreams stacked heavy on my shoulders. A home, children, a garden, a pottery shed for me, a studio with a big piano for you, peace and quiet, a normal life. All of that gets heavy when you carry it with fear. Fear to lose what you still have not got. I am afraid we will not get there, and if we don't, I'm afraid of what will be left. When I woke up today, God was crying, and I looked over at you, mumbling something secret in your sleep, and cried with him.